Hi everyone, and welcome to another of my videos. Okay, about the job of the bar waiter on luxury cruise ships. Right, so about the video. Before we begin, so what's the content? So I'm basically gonna try to cover the whole thing, the requirements for the job, what's your experience prior to the job getting in, of course the contracts, the benefits, about the service, and whatever you need to get, for your job, like buy some uniforms or something like that. So pretty much everything. Shortly about myself, I actually worked for River Cruise Ships as a bar waiter as well, all inclusive, so that kind of makes a point as well. And then I worked for Seabourn as well, so that's a luxury cruise line, and that's all inclusive as well. That's why really the job changes a lot, to be honest, and I'll try to explain that. Luxury or regular cruise lines, so what's the difference and how is the job? So there's a big difference between them, and it actually does affect all your duties, how you paid, of course, and what's the customer is different as well. And all the other smaller things. So actually I'm gonna start with the comparison of the cruise lines just shortly. And as you can see, so the Seabourn Odyssey and Silver Muse, you can see I was on Odyssey. That's 450 passengers, 335 crew. As you can see, the size, and the Silver Seas, as my colleagues and managers always joking, Silver Seas is actually a copy of Seabourn. Which was slightly bit later, actually, when the Silver Seas came on board and actually started to do the business, and this kind of put actually not the requirements but the standards for the luxury cruise lines. As you can see, also the Viking Sun, the ship for the Seabourn now, they are coming up to the 600 or 650, the same thing that Virgin Cruises are doing, and the Viking Sun as well, you can see it's 930 passengers. So it's actually higher, it's like 1,000, but the most common ones are like 600, 650, and up to 2,000. And Seabourn is doing the new ships as well, 650, and the other ones like 450. The one they actually had 250, they sold them off. But if you can see, the lengths and the beam, the length and the width of the ship, you can clearly see it's like if the Seabourn is 200, then for 450 passengers, then the 12 meters more and you get 600 passengers, or you get 30 meters more and you get 930 passengers. So the structure of the ships are the same, and that's basically job-specific detail. So what's the story with the outlets? So basically what's happening, there is a main dining room, which is very big, and you can actually seat all the guests there. It also has where you're going to be working for the dinner time, of course. It also usually has a buffet style restaurant, second one, which is not so formal. Of course, there's some bar waiters working there as well, and there's open area seated surf and turf restaurant as well. So it's basically like that, and there's like some bar at the front of the ships that's usually used for cocktail hours, and there's some sort of a nightclub, and which is a late bar, and it still adheres to as a hotel, like last guests, like if there's more than 5 guests, you need to keep it open. So basically what happens is, if there's a cocktail hour or something, and of course there's a music piano or something, you could be working like in a coffee shop, that's where you're stuck all day long, and you finish like pretty reasonable time, but you'll start early. You could be working on open decks, and that starts at 12, then probably get a break and then go to the nightclub. But basically everybody's pretty much in. Some would be doing like a tea time or something, but what happens is, when the cocktails hour is there, then lots of bar waiters, they're all pretty much in the bar, and where everybody meets before the dinner, like half an hour, 45 minutes, or 1 hour before. So everybody's there, and then you get like a rush to the main restaurant. You need to do the wine service or a cocktail service, whatever they order, and you need to be there, and then there's usually a showroom, which is also one and pretty big one, and you have all these entertainers there. So you basically, from the restaurant service, you rush there, you have like half an hour before show, everybody wants a drink, so it's rushing there as well. All inclusive, yeah, well, that's actually what changes the most of things, because all the passengers, it's all inclusive, so there's no tips, so you automatic 15% tip for any sale you make, so you actually get salary. And not everything is included on Seabourn. Everything is included, Silverface if I'm not mistaken as well, and then Virgin as well. But with the Viking you don't have the spirits included, so no cocktails. So for the Seabourn or for the Silverseas, and if I'm not mistaken, Viking. So Virgin. I did speak with my colleague from Viking, and so I actually know what's going on there as well. We were colleagues in a previous company we were working on a ship, of course, and I reached out to him, like, hey, what's going on? Is the service the same? Is this luxury? And is it all included? Yeah, you get salary, so you don't need to fight for the tips. Do you get tips? Yes, you do. And if you're looking after the same section in a restaurant, you get them every single day. And so you're going to be floating between these bars. If you get the same people, they usually give you a tip anyway. In a Seabourn it's included. Silverseas I'm not too sure, but I think it's the same thing. On the Viking, you can that's included. On Virgin it's included, and on Viking it can be added to your account on a daily basis, and you pay at the end of the cruise. Or you actually prepay them before cruise, but there's no spirits included. Seabourn Silver, that's all there, and you even need to do the cabin service when you put like spirits, 1 bottle of scotch, 1 bottle of red, white wine, sparkling wine, champagne is there as well, always. So you need to do the minibar, which is actually included for them, and that's so as well. So the tips are included, but you will be getting tips if you look after the same people, the same section, the big table, the smaller table. You usually get like 10, whatever there is for the drinks, and the waiter's getting the food out. They're still gonna give you a tip, and if you look after them a week, you can, like, I don't know, you can usually get like 50 or 100, and usually 100, depending on the length of the cruise, of course. So you are on a salary, so there is no pressure on selling or anything. Of course, lots of people were working on big ships. They were saying, okay, the best place to actually get money and 15%, it's usually in a casino where people, some are gambling and winning and sharing, some are actually under alcohol influence and they don't really track their money. So these people, I heard, a ridiculous amount of money making in casinos. But these are actually these are all included, so that's why the service is different. That's why you're going to be rotating between the bars on open deck, for a cocktail hour, and for the club, of course, and all these things. Requirements for the job. Prior experience as a bartender with cocktail experience. Yeah, well, I used to have guys who worked as managers, worked as bar waiters there. I actually had a colleague who was actually owned some bars in Portugal, and he was a bar waiter as well. Cocktail experience is very necessary. Like, lots of people from there is from the United States, and they know their cocktails. Of course, some of the people from United Kingdom, of course, they know their own cocktails as well. They go, same guests. I actually worked in London, Michelin star place, and I got the same people from the cruise line I was working. So they're familiar with cocktails. Cocktail experience is required. They also need sommeliers with the wines. There's pretty expensive ones, and candidates from Western Europe. Yes, they do advertise like this. The companies and the ships, they do like the front of the staff to be somebody. They have an extra language they know, and of course the working language is English, and So they might actually do that, but there's a lots of actually colleagues who were there, like myself. I'm from Eastern Europe. I worked in Western Europe, so I got a job easily, and all my CV is actually pretty much Western Europe. And it's always good you have somebody who's originally from Germany. They speak English, of course, for work, but they can speak with the guests in German, or the same thing from Portugal or Spain, and you can speak Spanish in 2 languages, which is actually kind of a requirement, or this actually gonna put you out better looking for the candidacy for the work as the others. Where to look for the job, site4crew.com. If you haven't been there, by all means, it's updated every single month. It has a list of the companies, cruise lines, river cruise lines, yacht charter companies. It has a list of the agencies. Agencies are really cool. Sometimes they have only an email address. You can just send them straight away CV and go down the list and work on it and apply, and then see how many offers you're going to get. It happens you get 2 offers, you get 3 offers, and then you can choose, and sometimes it takes a bit longer. The Site4Crew is there. The list will be updated. You can walk down the list, the recruitment web pages and all this, some articles, some job fair lists as well. So by all means, Site4Crew, if you're interested, you can just visit the website and see what's good there is. And if you don't like reading articles, then of course you can tune in on the Site4Crew YouTube channel, so where this video is going to be posted. Right, interview process and after the interview. So interview process is all the same. If you go through the agency, then you have first interview, then you have a second interview with the company itself, representative. So usual Skype and everything, and interview process. I will make a different video, and that's just a summary, not to actually speak about it on these job-specific videos I'm trying to. After your interview, as always, you need a passport. You need it valid for at least a full year when you step on board, so get a new one. Visa. Even if the ship is not going to United States, you say C1D, B1 visa as well. So they're gonna ask you to get, because the world port of the cruises, of course, is Florida. And lots of ships are departing there, and everybody wants to be on the Caribbean, so they're going to ask you to get the visa as well. Medical, you do probably the last, every 2 years you need to get that done. And it's pretty intense for the cruise ships. Everything, x-rays, eyesight, hearing, blood tests, and all these things. Police clearance, of course, you shouldn't be having any active things on your police clearance that could actually incriminate you, or if you're working with the money, that's sometimes they can actually ask you for police clearance for the last 8 years. Even if you've been in another country, you need to get that as well. This is a common thing about the interviews, and I'll speak about in other videos. Purchase, okay, uniforms. So I did have to get sneakers, white sneakers with no logos, sunglasses, white socks, no logos, all these kind of small things. And of course everything else was like uniforms were provided. Flight tickets are actually for these luxury cruise lines, they're actually included. It could be that's not, but it usually is, and that's why they're different from some. They pay a little bit better, contracts are a little bit shorter, and you get the flight tickets there as well, so which is really cool thing. Corkscrew, just a joke, but lots of the bar waiters they actually forgot to get the corkscrew. The wine service is very initial. You need it. Just don't forget to take one. I was leaning out my extra ones to everybody that came on board without one. Safety training. So Viking doesn't do the safety training. You need to go on board and you need to pass it within 2 weeks. Once they do on board, they actually discuss the questions before you ride them, because they don't want you to fail. The tests are there, you passed it, so you can be on board. If you fail to actually do it, then they can send you back home, because within 2 weeks you need to have to pass the safety. You need to be able to do your duties on the safety. Okay, well, benefits. So I was working in 2008, which is like a long time ago now. That was 1,600, but the salaries are going up to the 2,000 for included. 1,800, I just put it down there as a euro. But it's about 2,000 there. It's better paid than the other ships, and of course it's not $150 as a tipping positions on the big ships, and then you get 15% 15% commission for the sales of the beverages, which here is the salary, and it usually goes about this 1,800 euro or $2,000, something like that, just about it. I checked it out with my colleague as well from Viking, and I checked it out to what I remember and whatever research I did. Commission, so yeah, so Viking, they don't have a spirit, so you sell something, the same as Seabourn, you sell something which everything was included. Expect really top very good spirits, like very expensive ones, like if they want a margarita with a very expensive tequila, yeah, you sell that, you get the commission, and you can probably end up with an extra 50 euro on or dollars on your monthly pay. So it's so that's what it is. So you paid monthly. Tips, as I mentioned, you can get tips, because even if it's prepaid, people still leave the tip for the service for 1 week. You've always been there, you know them already, you know some by name, and you still get cash tips as well. It's all yours, you keep it. New contract bonus. That was with the Seabourn. I'm not too sure if the other companies are copying the initiative, but it's actually cool stuff. So if you come from second contract back, you get 75 extra euro. If you come for the third one, you get 150, and then for the fourth one you get 250 extra for a month. And then if you step up as a bartender or the head bartender or the manager, you get the bonus system rolling once again. So it could be or it could not be. Rank, petty officer, correct, non-commissioned officer, so you don't get any stripes to wear, and you're not an officer, and your duties are not that, in emergencies, are not that high or very much, so you don't get officers rank. Public areas is a pretty cool thing. I remember I used to be an officer on a big ship. I could go drink in a bar with the guests, or I could go with my friends, where all the other guests in a nightclub. Pretty cool, but unfortunately for bar waiter positions, they are not there. Of course, you can go to the crew bar. And as an officer, you could go to restaurants as well and eat. Other benefits, holidays, contract lengths. So I was working on 4 months on and 2 months back home. There's always 2 months holiday. So you can't be on a ship for more than like 11 months, more than 10 months. You need to be at least 2 months a year on the land. As I looked in the other websites and some other information, and I also spoke to my colleague, as I mentioned, from different cruise line luxury. He does a different job now. He said the contract could be about 6 till 4 for the officers, for the high ones. I used to have 4 anyway, because they wanted to actually have the all fresh front of staff, dealing with some of the guys who are doing like in a backstage, with utility jobs, you know, like all this sanitation. They do get longer contracts, but the people in the front usually about 6. It depends on the company, but all the luxury companies, they change as well slightly. There's 4 or 6. Health insurance, well, yeah, well, you get the infirmary on the ship that actually looks after your health and everything, and that's kind of is accessible medication, whatever do you need and all this, but it's not really an insurance that you can use on the land. They can send you to the hospital for the doctor for serious things, but it's not really included like in river cruise ships. Shared cabin, yeah, unfortunately, all the officers, 1.5 stripe, 1 stripe or lower petty officers, they share the cabin, so it's between 2 people. And the new ships are pretty cool, and luxury cruise lines, the cabins are really good, to be honest, and as I heard, they're pretty good as well on the other ships I spoke to. Uniforms, yeah, of course you get uniforms. Pretty cool. You get polo shirts, you get shorts, khaki shorts, and you get all these things. And you get cappies with the company's logo to wear on open decks when you are in the sun, roasting in the middle of the sun in Europe or in India. 3 meals per day, correct? Yeah, well, you get 3 eating times. It's not as good as in the big ships, because they have buffets and something like that going on almost pretty much all the time. You get some food, but if 3 warm meals, you can get them, and of course the food is included. Day off, yeah, unfortunately I was promised to have a half day off. The other cruise lines, for other as a receptionist or something like this, They kind of said they're gonna do a day off, half day off. I was entitled to, never got one with all my contracts, and I don't think it really happens on the other ships as well. So, and on other companies as well. So forget about the days off, to be honest. About the job, so I did mention that the ships are different. They have main dining room, and as you saw, the ships are a little bit bigger, but they need more cabins. So it doesn't mean that it's gonna have 20 restaurants as it used to work a Lord of the Seas from Royal Caribbean, which they actually had at least 15 restaurants, what I can remember. These ones actually have main ones, so of course you need to assist the bartenders, which is actually outlet, like the bar manager pretty much on that bar. They have several bars and open decks. They have at front of the boat, at the back of the boat. You could be on your own if you're running like some spa drinks or something like that, and you make your own cocktails, and it kind of proves that you can actually get all the orders done like a bar waiter, which is kind of a step up point. Even in a coffee shop, you don't say you can't get it. You make the cocktails, you get the drinks. If it's caffeine-free and caffeine-free Coke, then you need to get it done. Sugar-free, caffeine-free Coke, you need to get that done. You need to find where it is. If somebody wants pomegranate martini and you don't have pomegranate juice, but you got pomegranates in the storage somewhere where the stores of the ship is, you need to run all the way down and get the thing to squeeze some juice. And of course the restaurant service is the sommeliers, and you work with them at the restaurant and you get do the drink service and all that. Additional duties, yeah, well, so if you're a food handler or a beverage handler, USPH, so it's deep cleaning. If you are at the reception or the officer, you don't do any of that, but United States Public Health inspectors come on a ship, and the flags of the ships are in different countries, so you're gonna be doing extra courses on a ship for the safety training about the cleaning standards and everything, pest control, and you're going to be pretty much cleaning your ship inside out and when the ship comes in a port, and once a week pretty much at the end of the cruise last day you clean everything inside out if the inspection comes on board usually, and that's in a home port. That can happen in every port. Of course, everybody is afraid of US safety sanitations, but it could happen in Russia. The Coast Guard can come up on board and check the working hours, so you need to be having rest time and everything. And of course, they can check kitchen, whatever there is. If there's a container, it doesn't have a label when the food is made and when it's gonna expire. You get some minus points from 100, and if it's more like, I don't know, 10, 15 or 20, then you're not gonna pass it and the ship is not gonna allow to actually take the passengers on. So you're gonna be pretty much cleaning quite a bit. Drills itself, of course, you have duties, and there's all means. You're not gonna have you're gonna have like a really basic one like staircase duty, like directing the people, so you don't need to actually give instructions to the guests. You don't really need to do much like senior officers do. Cabin checks, unfortunately, yeah, you need to clean your cabin. Some companies publish which cabin is going to be checked every once a month. They check it like every week, but your cabin is going to be there. Some do not, and you need to clean it because you don't have a cabin cleaner, or maybe you can actually get somebody from housekeeping to do that for you, so they get your cabin ready, you know. So, well, this probably covered all the things, and I didn't wanted to actually mention the difference between these jobs as there is on luxury and on the other big cruise lines that don't have the passengers. Like, passengers are usually 45 till like 60. They're all professionals. There's no children, no kids, so nobody younger than 18, and it's older passengers that comes on board, so it's different type of customer. They're probably pretty wealthy because the cruises cost a bit more. Of course, the service is very serious thing to attend to. They have requirements and all this, but they usually would have like a couple of cocktails very good made, rather than having like 20 drinks a day. Somebody that would actually have in different cheaper cruises, as you know. Well, that kind of covers the whole thing I wanted to cover. And of course, siteforcrew.com is there, so if you're looking for a job, by all means, the updates are there. You can actually go through the lists, you can apply for them. By all means, leave some comments below. I probably missed out on something, and I'll create a better video next time. And yeah, well, I hope this helps you and you found it useful. And of course, as always, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you on the next one.